Did you know we've all got a bit of royal Ludroth inside of us? Okay, not literally, Lagiacrus. Wait a minute. Lagiacrus? In the jungle? In Sunbreak? Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Sunbreakers all. Today I want to show you something that can only be described as exceedingly cool. This is a mod that has been worked on, refined, and brought into glorious existence by a Mr. Ivory Lagiacrus. And you can find him linked down below, and I heartily recommend you give him a look, as he does some fantastic things, and is very, very good at doing those fantastic things. For now, though, Lagiacrus, well, where do we even begin with Lagiacrus? He is a hotly contested monster because he's a lot of people's favourite monster, or at the very least he is deeply beloved, but he is basically the only notable flagship that has not been in the 5th gen, and that's really a shame. Because obviously he was originally an underwater fight, and he doesn't translate that well on land, and Ivory is kind of a band-aid, and he was going to be in World, but he had a little bit too of a neck wobble, skeleton issues. Same with Rise and Sunbreak, they just couldn't get him to work properly. The other Leviathans stand higher off the ground, the belly drag proves issues. So this mod was very much I'll do it myself to see how the model would actually function, skinned over a royal Ludroth, and then made a little bit bigger. And function, yeah, it kind of does. You can definitely see some jank, but that obviously comes from just skinning a monster over another monster and having it use moves it's not supposed to. Obviously, this mod doesn't prove that Lagiacrus could have been in. It doesn't prove that it doesn't belong. It just proves that, damn, Lagiacrus would have been awesome in Sunbreak, and at the very least, it's fantastic to be able to see, well, this mod in action and imagine. Although, not so much imagine, but at least literally live the fantasy of what if. Even the fact that you can properly wyvern ride him, because of course you can, again, it's just a model swap and then some fixing up done, is really, really awesome to see. If only we could get some electricity going on here, and that would be utterly glorious, though I do love Lagiacrus pumping out foamy bubbles. I think that's quite a fun direction to take him.
Bubbles are my thing, dude. Shut up.
The question then becomes, how do we save our boy? How do we bring back the Lagiacrus? How do we resurrect the face of the 3rd generation and everybody's favourite lightning crocodile, Leviathan? Well, I mean, look, Ivory was the attempt to get him onto land, a Lagiacrus that doesn't go in the water, that has a new moveset, that is a more land version of the Leviathan, but it doesn't fix the fundamental problem of him being, well, slidey, low to the ground, having these issues, and then if you brought back original Lagiacrus, well, he would be heavily neutered because he needs underwater to fully flex his powers. So you're kind of left with the option of add a Lagiacrus version, or add a crippled Lagiacrus. Whereas I think perhaps the correct decision here is a sort of hidden option C situation, where you simply completely redesign Lagiacrus, not just in a moveset, but even how he physically looks. Restructure his bones, as it were. Give him that little bit of a lift off the ground. Change his gait if you have to. Actually give him an entirely new, reborn fight and aesthetic that still retains that essence of Lagiacrus. It'd be easy enough to justify. You could have it, this is a normal Lagiacrus, but it's this region's version of Lagiacrus. They're a bit different, not different enough to be a subspecies, but, you know, they generally act in their own kind of more landy-based way. And I think that would be a nice way to do it, especially as they are, I think, one of the better electrical monsters, and of course everyone wants to see Lagiacrus in some turf wars with his fellow flagships. It is kind of sad that he's missing. There is this big Lagiacrus shaped hole in what is otherwise an awesome representation of flagships. Even Seregios is back now, not to mention of course Gormagala too, even Astalos. It's basically just Lagiacrus crying over in a corner of a broken broken model, and then on the other side of the mountain there is a Gammoth crying in a corner for no even reason with her. She's just not been added, probably due to lack of popularity, which is a damn shame. It really, really is. There are a certain few monsters that I think are special enough, that I think are loved enough, that they should be fought for. And let's be honest, I'm not like I'm over here saying this and Capcom are listening going, you know what? You're right, we should bring Lagiacrus, we do love him. Obviously, they adore all of their monsters, and they want to bring Lagiacrus. They've talked about him in interviews over and over, how he's just proving tricky. If it was up to them, he'd probably be in most Monster Hunter games. And I would be very, very surprised if every effort wasn't being made to get him into Monster Hunter 6, because damn it, he deserves to be. He is such a cool creature, and basically he's the Leviathan, right? He is the Rathalos of the Leviathans. He is the progenitor of them, and he represents that entire class of monster. So it is very, very nice to see this mod, which is coming out soon, as I understand, actually giving him that kind of what-if breath of life in Sunbreak. It really, really is cool. So, the Lord of the Seas getting just that little taste of perhaps existence. And hell, actually seeing him being fought is really, really cool. Obviously, he's rolling around a la Ludroth, but it does feel very Lagiacrus-y in the fight. Even looking risey, thanks to, obviously, using the game's shading and lighting engine, which gives it that aesthetic, even though it is just the Monster Hunter tri-model ripped and then inserted into the game, which is the nice, easy way to do it. We've even got the actual intro cutscene as if it was Lagiacrus instead of Ludroth, and I really love the idea of Lagiacrus just charging with little Ludroths that he's buddied up with. Not that Lagiacrus needs a smaller monster to command around, but I think it's absolutely hilarious. It really, really is. And obviously the jungle is a fantastic map for him, especially the remade jungle with its incredible tropical feel. It's never been more vibrant or lovely, and what better than that than the lightning crocodile to take his place as one of the apexes of the map. So altogether, basically, I miss Lagiacrus, we all miss Lagiacrus, and it's nice to both be teased but also be given hope by this awesome modding attempt by you, Mr. Ivory Lagiacrus, and it really, really is cool. Keep doing Gog's work, my friend, and I look forward to seeing what comes next and how this all shakes down. For now then, like if you have enjoyed this, subscribe and hit the bell for more, and consider supporting the future of this channel on Patreon down below. Until we meet again, a goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.